Okay, so in this lesson, we're going to start talking about classifying triangles. All right, so before we get into that, just a couple of quick reminders. First, these are the 4 different types of angles that we've already talked about. Acute, less than 90, obtuse, greater than 90, but less than 180. A right angle, which is a 90-degree angle, and then a straight angle, which is 180 degrees. So that's just a quick review. All right, how do we classify triangles? We can do this 2 ways. One is by their angles. The other way is by their sides. So first, let's talk about by their angles. If you have a triangle that has 3 acute angles, all the angles are acute, then it is known as an acute triangle. And the abbreviation for triangle is that. So you can just say that's an acute triangle. This, if it has one obtuse angle, which this is the obtuse angle in this one, you can see that that's bigger than 180 degrees, or bigger than 90 degrees, but less than 180, then this is called an obtuse triangle. Again, just one obtuse angle makes it obtuse. Kind of by the same token, if you have one right angle, so here we can tell that this is right because of that indication right there. That means 90 degrees. So this is called a right triangle. Okay. And then lastly, if you have 3 congruent angles, all 3 of these angles are the same. You can see here with the tick marks and the arc marks on those 3 angles, that they're all the same. So then if that's the case, we call this equiangular, which triangle. So how do we classify triangles by angles? It's either acute, obtuse, right, or equiangular. Okay. So let's take a look at this picture here. You'll notice the little triangle symbol in front of all the notations. That just means triangle, and then the 3 letters indicate which triangles we're talking about. C, D, E. So let's just find that. C, D, E is this triangle right here. You can see there's a right angle here. So this would be a right triangle. Okay, B, C, E. Let's do a different color here. B, C, E is this one right here. Angle C right here is definitely bigger than 90 degrees, so this would be obtuse. There's one obtuse angle. Okay, A, B, E. You can see I have 3 angles that are congruent, so that makes this equiangular. All right, B, D, E. B, D, E. Okay, once again, this whole thing right here is bigger than 90 degrees, so that would also be an obtuse triangle. All right, lastly, CFE. Okay, C. Okay, all 3 of those angles are less than 90, so this would be an acute triangle. All right. We can also classify triangles by their sides. So here are the 3 ways to do that. If they have 3 congruent sides, all sides are the same, then we say it's an equilateral triangle. Okay. If there's 2 congruent sides, then we say it's isosceles. It's called an isosceles triangle. And then if there are no congruent sides, none of the sides are the same, then we say, oops, it's scalene. Triangle. All right, so let's take a look at a picture and identify the triangle by its side. All right, JKM is the whole thing. And you can see here, none of the sides are the same length. So this would be scalene. All right, KLN. This side and this side are the same. So 2 sides being congruent is isosceles. And then JKN is this one here. All 3 sides are the same, here, here, and here. So that's equilateral. All right. Okay, so here they give us a kind of wild picture, and they give us some instructions here. It says PR, segment PR, so that's this whole thing right here, bisects angle SRT. SRT is right here. If you remember, bisect means cut in half. So if that line cuts this angle in half, then that means both this angle and this angle have to be the same. Okay, so that means I can say, I know that this also has to be 30 degrees. Okay. The second piece of information that they give us is that U is the midpoint of RT. So here is RT, okay? And U is right here in the middle. Okay, well that means if it's in the middle, the 2 segments that it creates have to be the same. So you see this segment and this segment have to be the same. So that means this has to also be the same as this one. So I'm going to use the same tick mark. It also says that it's 8 meters. I'm just going to put that in there too. Ugh. Okay. All right, so now I have the information I need to probably proceed. Okay, so let's look at UQR. It does say to classify this triangle by its angles and its sides. So I got to do both. So I want to make sure I write both. UQR is right, let's use a different color, right here. Okay, so that is by its angles, I can see I have an obtuse angle of 120 degrees. So it has to be obtuse. I know that. By its sides, I can see that this side and this side are the same. So that's isosceles, 2 sides the same. Okay. Okay. Next, RST. Okay. Well, I know that this is 60, this is 60, and 30 plus 30 is 60. So those are all the same. So this must be equiangular. Okay. How about sides? Well, this side is 16. This is also 16 because 8 plus 8. And this is also 16, 8 plus 8 again. So that's equilateral. Okay. SQR. Oh no, SRQ. Okay, well, there's a right angle in there, so we know it's right by angles. Okay. Do we have any sides the same? Well, we know that one's 16. We don't know enough about that other one. And the other one's 8. So looks like it's scalene. Okay. PRT. That's this big triangle right here. This side is 16, this side is 16, so those are the same. Oh, so this looks isosceles, but I want to also identify this angle is bigger than 90. So this is obtuse and then isosceles. Okay. 2 more. TQU. Okay. Well, we know that these two, this side and this side are the same. We also know that this is 8 and this is 8, which makes this 8. So this has to be equilateral. We also know that this has to be 60 since it's a straight line. So 120 plus 60 is 180. So if that's 60 and this is 60, that makes this 60. Because the 3 angles have to add up to 180. So kind of a lot going on there. But one thing you might notice is if it's equilateral, it also is equiangular and vice versa. That is always the case. So equiangular and equilateral. All right, last is PQT. Well, these two angles here are vertical angles, so this one and this one. So that means this has to be 90 degrees. So this is a right triangle. You'll also notice that none of the sides are the same length. So that means this is scalene. Okay. Hopefully you understand how to classify those things now. And it makes a little bit more sense. Okay. So now just using some algebra. They're going to throw some algebra in there. So I want to do a couple of problems on that, and then that's it. If triangle MNP is an equilateral triangle, find x and the measure of each side. Okay, so we know that the sides are the same. So really, that's just means, I can pick any two sides and set them equal to each other. I'm just gonna pick this one and this one. You can choose any two, but I'm just gonna say I know that all the sides are the same. So 4x minus 25 equals x plus 14. Remember, that's 1x plus 14, same as 1x. All right, so I want to get all my x's on one side, so I'm just going to subtract 1x from both sides. Okay, and then, so I have 3x minus 25 equals 14, and then just add 25. So 3x equals 39. Not 49. Okay, and then divide by 3 on both sides. We get 13. Okay, so I know that what x is. It does say that I need to find the measure of each side. Okay, so let's do that. I'm gonna just kind of write this here in a different color. All right, so I'm gonna start with mn. Okay, so mn is 4x minus 25. I now know that x is 13, so I'm gonna put a 13 in there. Okay, we're gonna multiply that, and 4 times 13, so that's 52 minus 25 is 27. Okay, now in theory, if I do all these should be the same length, right? So I'm gonna double check. This is a good way to know if we've been doing this right. Okay, the next one is x plus 14, or 13 plus 14, which is also 27. So that's good. And then the last one is 6 times 13 minus 51. So that would be 78 minus 51, which is 27. Okay, so we know that those are all right. Really, what did I have to do? I had to find x and then the length of every side. So we did that. Okay, good. All right, now this one is just giving you some information. Really what you want to do with this is just draw a picture and then you're good. So once you draw the picture, you can figure out the stuff from there. But I'm just going to draw any picture. I just really want something that will help me identify what's going on, even if it's not perfect. Okay, so I know that this side and this, well, I guess I should label some things. So I'm going to say this is M, this is K, and this is L. I know it's an isosceles triangle, which is why I made those 2 marks, and that MK and ML are congruent, so that's why I labeled those 2. Okay, so I got that marked. Now I also know that MK is 7x minus 15. Okay, and then this KL is 4x minus 5. And then lastly, ML is 10x minus 42. Okay, so I know that the 2 sides I marked are congruent, so I'm just going to start there. 7x minus 15 has to be equal to 10x minus 42. And then we're going to just solve that. So get all my x's on one side. Okay, add 42 to both sides. Divide by 3, we get 9. Okay, so now I just want to figure out what the sides are. So I know that MK, or you could do ML, which one? I'm going to start with ML actually. So ML is 10 times 9 minus 42. That's 90 minus 42, which is 48. Okay, now MK better be 48. So 7 times 9 is 63 minus 15, that is 48. Okay, good. And then lastly, KL. 4 times 9 minus 5, which is 36 minus 5, 31. Okay, perfect. So draw a picture and then you should be good. All right, I hope that all makes sense. Your assignment is classifying triangles worksheet. Good luck. See ya.